Namaskar, greetings, and gratitude. I welcome you all to the Inspirational StarTalks episode number 61. And today, with me on the hot seat is Mr. Abhishek Anchal. I welcome you, Mr. Abhishek, to the StarTalks.
Thank you so much, Dr. Preeti. I'm really privileged and honored that you invited me. All right. Although we spent little short of short time frame, almost about 9 to 10 months, but I'm very happy that brought me to your podcast today. Thank you.
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you. I'm honored. Mr. Abhishek Anchal is CEO, co-founder of NIDDIK, an IT division of NIDDIK LLP. He was born in the historic city of Darbhanga, Bihar. He embarked on a journey that would take him across the globe, shaping him into the professional and entrepreneur he is today. That is so wonderful, so beautiful. So, Mr. Anchal, please, if you could tell me something about your passion for innovation and problem solving.
Absolutely, absolutely. To answer this question, there are so many live examples that took place in my 20 years of professional journey. Right. I have learned a lot from the beginning back in 2000 until today. I'm still learning. Right. The biggest thing that I learned when I stepped into the one of the strategic management program at IIT, right? Because I got a chance to meet with two of the professors out there, right, who had been exposed enough in their career, the so far, and based on their real time journey, right, and all those modules and the frameworks that we have discussed during the course of the certification program, right, I I learned a lot in terms of the real time examples, from professors, right? Because I remember that none of the session that professor took for us did not have any real time example, right? Because all those examples from the real time factors that professor has already experienced, right? And that is what he portrayed and shared with us, right? So uh, these are the live example motivated me in terms of giving little extra hand for my growth, right? Not only my growth but also to my company that I'm running right now. I remember yesterday we were doing some sort of a feedback session, and I clearly mentioned that what I liked about that particular session, right? And I mentioned whatever I felt about both the professors and what I learned, right? From this, right? So yeah.
So, this is very nice. You got a scholarship at the US university. And how
Well,
did this happen?
well, I was not prepared that that will happen so soon, right? So when I did my 10 plus 2 exam, right, I came to Delhi, and I was not prepared that I'm going to be associated with some sort of an engagement where we will have the twinning program from the US universities, right? So when I came to Delhi, I gave some entrance exams, and fortunately I got selected with two colleges basically, right? Although I had been rejected with from Delhi College of Engineering and some of the other colleges in Delhi, but I got selected with one of the college in Gurgaon named called Anchal Institute of Technology. So Anchal is the one of the very known builder, right? So at that point in time, they had initiated their education program, and all those programs were twinning program from overseas, right? So the condition was that if you're going to get a part of any of the a stream out there for your engineering, right, you will stay at Ansel premise for about 4 semester, and rest of the semester you have to go to the state, right? So with an advantage, if you're going to secure 75 plus percent marks, right, you're going to get the scholarship, right? So that's where, I scored 75 plus and I got my scholarship, and my tuition was almost chopped by one third, right? So that's how my education, graph was initially. Yeah.
Okay, this is nice. So nice. So now, you please tell us something about your corporate experiences also.
Yeah, so the corporate experience, it has been very, diversified, I would say. But it was definitely a roller coaster ride for me, because the very first job I got, that was back in the state. There was one of the largest and pretty old financial organization, right, name called Lehman Brothers, right? So which unfortunately got bankrupted back in 2009 when dot com blast happened. So I got an opportunity to work with them, right, in New York City. So I spent there almost, for about a year and a half, and then I moved to another project with another well-renowned rank one newspaper company in the world, Thomson Reuters. And that's where I spent another year and a half. And just because of my visa restriction, I came back to India in 2006, and since then I have been here, right? But in India, my journey was pretty good. I have had few changes throughout my career in India, but there was a company which was a CMMI level 5 organization, right? And it was a Microsoft Golden certified partner, and that's where I spent almost about 10 years, right? And after that, I decided that okay, let's go ahead and do something of your own, because I learned a lot of exposure within those organizations. And back in 2021, right, I started my own venture, and that is what I have been trying to explore in the market, stabilize in the market, and that is going to be my future. Is what I'm looking forward to.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, yes, my next question was something similar. You co founded NIDDIK LLP. So, how did this conceptualize?
Well, it happened when I was with the company where I stayed 10 years. The last year of my tenure there, right, we got some projects out there, right? And somehow at that point in time, we were requiring some positions to fill out there, right? There were about 50 plus positions. And we were looking for some vendors, and we did not have a lot of time to fill those positions, right? Within a month of a time, we had to onboard about 50 plus techies to the organization. So we were like 6 or 7 of us, we were fighting how to get those candidates, because in India nowadays, it's notice period sort of a stuff, right, is very challenging, right? You won't be able to get the candidate who are working with well-renowned system integrators like TCS, Infosys, Wipro, Accenture, so and so forth, right? Because they have a 90 days of a lock-in period, right? So by the time 90 days goes out, right, they get another offer, right, and they join that company. So that was a pretty much the bad challenge. So I got connected with one company, which was NIDDIK at that point in time, right? That company initiated, right, and that's when I realized that okay, let's go ahead and do a collaboration with that company. Okay, not thinking about that in the future, I'm going to be a co-founder for that organization, for the IT division, right? But somehow I got connected, and they produced some of the candidate. We made some placement out there, and that's where I realized that okay, once I'm going to be out from this company, this is the company I'm going to be associated with, and I'm going to be a co-founder for that company for the IT division, right? So that's how my journey had been. Yeah,
Wonderful, wonderful. And how do you stay motivated and inspired in your role?
my two daughters.
So
always
sweet.
always 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 it is, right? Because it's definitely a the life learning experience when you once you have a two growing kid, right? You go with all up and downs in the house, right? Because they fight together, and that keeps me motivated, because I always had been very fascinated about going in my flashback and looking at my childhood, that what I used to do, which is like I totally forgot, right? But when I see my kid, that okay, they are studying together, fighting together, eating together, playing together, right? That gives me a little bit of a motivation to live a little longer, right? Just for them, right? So these two kids are my motivation.
Sweet. So, what are some of the most significant lessons you've learned throughout your career?
Yeah. So lesson. So basically, what I understand over the period of 20 plus years of experience, what I have learned is that always try to be independent. Try to be independent all the time. Although there are some circumstances where you realize that the fact that you have no one to seek help from, right? So that's where you try to find for someone who is going to give you a little bit of a hand holding, right? That's where you struggle a lot to find that person, but you will realize the fact that there is no such person which is available right and right there for you, right, to handhold, other than your parents, right? So parents always taught me that during the course of your life journey, right, always try to be independent, because once you go into be independent, right, you'll learn a lot of things, right? You will go through all those hustle, right, in your life, right? You'll every step you have to face some challenges, and once you overcome with those challenges, right, that is going to be your winning aspect, right? Moving forward in your life, you're not going to be struggling a lot, right? Because you have seen those lives, right? You're not going to be at least disheartened that, okay, this is not with me, what is going to happen, right, in my future, right? So always try to be independent, okay, as quickly as possible, right? That is going to be definitely give you extra hand to be motivated, to focus certain things, right, that you want to achieve in your career, right? So yeah, that is what it is. Yeah.
Absolutely. A slightly different question, which is my last question as well. So, share some of your happy moments with us.
Happy moments. Those are all motivated. So there is a story behind that. Okay, so I have had a golden time in my life, and those golden time were when I was staying with my grandparents in the state, okay, in the US, right? Because they were they went to the state back in 1970s, early 70s, right? And they stayed there for throughout their life, and I got that opportunity to stay with them, to take care of them when they grown old, right? They require someone to help out, right? And you very well understand that in there is a vast cultural difference from between India and the US, right? So in the US, whatever you have to do by yourself, right? There is no one who is going to help you. At least at that point in time, I was there, right? And I had been a helping hand for to my grandparents, and that I always teach my daughters, or maybe even like my friends and all, right? Because parents are getting older, right? And that is one of the legacy that we have to preserve, right? Because they're not going to be young, right? They day by day they're going to be older, all right? Once they are not going to be there, how you going to and what you're going to teach your children, right? So legacy has to be followed, and that is what I learned from my grandparents, right? And those were my golden moments and very happy moment to take care of them.
Beautiful. What advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs or IT leaders?
Yeah, so my only advice to all the IT leaders going to be uh, try to be very truthful to your work. Okay, give justification to every step that you're going to take in terms of growing your organization. Okay, don't try to cheat anyone, because nowadays corporate is totally about give and take situation, right? You give some, take some, right? So try to be try to avoid that situation, right? Otherwise you'll be stucking yourself in a mud, and it will be very difficult for you to come out from there, right? So my only advice for all the IT leaders would be to be yourself, Okay, whatever you do, give a second thought. Okay, and try to make sure that you have a goal set there, right? And try to achieve that goal, right, by every step that you're going to take.
Absolutely. So beautiful. So nicely you put it. Thank you so much, Mr. Abhishek, for
Sure.
coming to the Star Talks. Thank you.
Thank you.
It was a
Thank you
lovely
so much.
chat.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, my dear audience, for being with us in this lovely conversation today. I will come back with another personality who has inspired my life. Thank you. Good day.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, thanks. Bye.